The wonderful people of St. Tola's Cheese gave me a beautiful piece of goat meat. And they said, can't wait to see what you're going to do with it. So, this is what's known as the flank. By the way, cameraman today is Dills. Say hello, Dills.
Hello.
You didn't say hello, Dills.
Hello, Dills.
There you go. So we've got the flank. What is the flank? Well, it's basically pretty much, look at this. There's the bones here, right? So we've got pretty much the rib cage. So picture it here coming down into the belly up to the very top. Now we could very simply just braise that and even maybe say cut it down in half like that with a saw and do lovely goat ribs. But I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to bone it, I'm going to stuff it, and I'm going to roll it. Because to the untrained eye, it doesn't look as if there's much meat in it. But trust me, there is a huge amount of meat. So in we go, and I'm going to literally just take it straight off the bone. I might keep the bones for a bit of stock or something like that later. And as I said, I do this with a lot of venison. So that's why I know that this is going to be a fantastic dish. So I'm basically going to take it all off the bone, and then we're going to take it to the next stage of stuffing it and rolling it. And stop. Now, here we go, taking it all off, just basically sliding the knife down off the bone. And we have one beautiful piece of flank of goat. Now, look at that. We can actually, you know what, I still might even just cut that down in half. Still a bit of meat inside. If you really, what I normally do with the venison for my mince is I go in between all the ribs and I take out all the meat as well. But that's all the meat off the rib cage. And we now left with our flank. So a little bit of too much fat there for my liking, so I'm going to trim that little piece off. And I can see this taking shape already now. What am I going to stuff it with? What am I going to do with it? You're just going to have to wait and see. Look at that, for a beautiful piece of meat. We're going to roll it up, stuff it like this, and braise it. Ooh, it's going to be delicious. You done?
Yes.
Start again. Now, so here you can see my flank of goat, nicely trimmed and squared up. And I've just made a little bit of a marinade of olive oil, garlic powder, a little bit of Cajun spice, and about a half teaspoon of curry powder, just to give it that little subtle flavor. So this is gonna go in, marinade overnight. Throw this in, I should have got Dills to do this bit for me as well. I'm just gonna marinate this overnight now and soak up all those flavors, and then we're gonna take it to the next stage. So, Dills, get a good close-up into what we've done here now. See the pan? Look at that, absolutely beautiful. All right, Dills. So what we've done there now is we've sauteed off mushrooms, onions, spring onions, garlic. We put in, what did we put in? We put in a lovely bit of, a little bit of curry powder, salt, pepper, and then a little bit of spinach. Saute all that off. Now for the next level, I'm gonna let that go completely cold. Then I'm gonna stuff my little bit of goat. Then I'm gonna roll it up, and then we're gonna get ready to cook it. So our lovely mix has chilled. Yes, I have changed my top. We were sawing out in the forest. I was covered in sawdust. And now we are back in to roll our beautiful piece of goat. I want to show you a thing. Dills, look, see the way I've squared it all off there? I've just trimmed it all up nice and neat. And all the little straggly bits I got, there was a bit of a hole there from where there was less meat on it. So that's all just going to fill in to that, okay? Because this is going to be braised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill all this, hands nice and clean. Don't be moaning about that now. So put down my my stuffing. And then what I'm going to do is very simply roll it all up, tie it with string, seal it in the pan, and I'm going to put in a little bit of red wine, tinned tomatoes, bit of tomato puree, has my braising liquor, and we're going to give that about 3 hours or so at about 160. So a little bit of montage of me rolling it, tying it, sealing it, and banging it in the oven. salt and pepper, and we seal it, and in she goes into the oven. Seal on the pan. Deglaze with red wine. Beef stock cube. Tomato puree. Mixy, mixy, mixy. Tinned tomatoes. Another mixy, mixy. Beautiful. And then pour over your goat. Cover with tin foil and into your oven. Say goodbye to it, Dills.
Goodbye.
Now, and see it in 3 hours. So, overnight, Dills,
Yes.
we got our flank, or our belly of goat, wrapped it in cling film, then tightly in tin foil, and then we're going to make the big reveal. So it seems like a bit of work, but trust me, it's going to be well worth it. Look at that, Dills. Now, bang that. Zabin. And then we shall peel off our goat. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can reheat it. I've just done it this way, so we get nice shape into it. See the way it's nice, like a big sausage, Dills, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep. You went last night on the lash again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
With the lads. A few pints. Okay, so we just take it out like so. In here, all the braising liquor, the tomatoes. What else do we put in, Dills? Tomatoes, red wine.
Tomato can.
Or the tomato puree, yeah. Into zibin. Thank you very much. So now you see the way we've got a lovely shape on it. There's a couple of different ways we can do it. We can slice it nice and thin onto a tray, a little bit of water, and reheat it that way, but I want to do it like this. Dills, we're going to heat up our pan. I'm going to seal this, slightly bigger piece, and I'm going to reheat it. So cuts of meat like the belly, like the neck, that kind of stuff, you can cook it and cook it and cook it and cook it. It's just once we want to get it nice and tender, which is why we cooked it the way we did last night. So I'm just going to take off a nice piece here, Dills. Like, so I'm going to take the middle piece just for the presentation. Look inside that, trying to get a nice close up in there of our stuffing. Okay, that was our spinach and our mushrooms and this kind of stuff. So now I'm going to take one nice big piece like this. There is a method to my madness, do not worry. So look at that. So we want to get the fatty side, okay, which is this side here. And we're going to crispen that up in our pan. And then we're going to finish it in the oven for about 10 minutes. Or so, maybe 10, 12 minutes. Then I'm going to reheat up just a little bit of that braising liquor. I don't need all that, and serve it. And I'm going to show you why we went to all that hassle. People look at, oh, there's no meat on that flank. There's no meat on that belly of goat. You can do it with lamb. You can certainly do it with pork. You can do it with any animal at all. That's why we went to the extra little bit of hassle. So what, Dills, all day yesterday, into the fridge overnight, back in today. So it's about a 24-hour process. But trust me, it will be well worth it. And as I said, our good friends in St. Tola's Cheese gave us a beautiful goat's cheese log, a little bit of minced goat, and also that flank on the bone. Instead of doing spare ribs, we decided to do this. So what should we do here? Go in, nice and seal that. Dills, you're going to hold that while I wash my hands. Now, so seal it in the pan. Quick recap, seal it in the pan, into the oven, maybe 10-15 minutes or so to heat up. Slice it, bit of the braising liquor, serve it on mashed potato. Beautiful. flank of lamb. Get close up onto that now, Shiny, while we seal that. Look at that. Oh, that nice little bit of fat, nice and crispy. Beautiful. So come back to us in a couple of seconds. Video time. And this will be ready to eat. Look at that, Dills. A work of art. An absolute. You swear we knew what we were doing. Open the oven for me, buddy, and let's bang it in. Beautiful. Beautiful mashed potato ready. Beautiful piece of goat ready. Look at this, Shiny, close up on the board. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Nice and tender. I threw in the sauce to reheat it in the pan. Make it really, really easy. Dale, be careful. That, my friend, is hot. So, put in so, and like so. And we are going to just very simply cut this right down in the middle, Dills. Oh, look at that. Very hot, so be careful. Everything is very, very hot. So, we are going to put our knife here, our mashed potato here. And like I said, just wanted to show you this. First of all, after being given it by the guys in St. Tola's, I just want to show you how a little bit of imagination, what you can do with what most people would just mince, that you can actually turn it into a oh my lord, look at this, Dills. You can actually turn it into an absolute stunning, stunning dish. Do you know what? I actually think there's enough there in that one piece. Be careful with that pan, Dills, is red, red hot. Little bit of our sauce. That's basically just our braising liquor. You still eating that mash, right? Jesus. Okay, so we've just got our little bit of tomato, red wine, tomato puree. That's an absolute. Would you stop? Jesus Christ. Look at this. And always, like I say, guys, always, always, always a little bit of green just to bring up the dish. Oh my lord, this is fantastic. Final sprinkle of salt on top. Final crack of the pepper. And that, my friends, is an absolute masterclass on what you can do with a little bit of imagination and a little bit of beautiful goat meat.